Regan Slaymaker for International Boxing News, and I have the pleasure to be joined by Robbie Davies Jr. Robbie, how you doing today, mate?
I'm good, thanks. You're okay?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you, mate. We were just saying off camera, get straight into it. What a fight you've got just announced for March the 11th on the undercard of Callum Smith, yourself against WBO ranked number two Liam Paro. Talk to me about the fight, mate. Obviously, I know you were very excited to get the fight announced on Twitter, but yeah, talk to me about the fight. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, like my team and Eddie and Shane and everyone, they all know that I just want the biggest possible fights, and I don't want to be going backwards at any point. And I was waiting around for a bit. I was thinking, is something good going to come off, or am I just going to get another sort of fringe level, European level opponent, something like that again? And then this just came out of nowhere, and the opportunity was there, and I just snatched their hands off.
Perfect, mate. It is. It definitely is. Definitely is a forward fight. Going into it, obviously, as I said, Liam ranked WBO number two. Is the fact that kind of obviously there's a lot of talk about Josh Taylor moving up soon. Is the fact that a win here could land you a vacant title shot? Is that kind of one of the main reasons why you took this fight?
Not so much. No, I've never actually thought of fighting for a vacant title. I just thought if I win this fight, I'm in the picture to possibly fight whoever's the WBO champion at the time. Um, I just feel these are the sort of fights that if they're going to happen, they've got to happen now.
Definitely, mate. And obviously, as I said, the fight's kind of taken very well on Twitter. I think a lot of people are calling this kind of the fight of the night on the card, which is always nice to hear. Do you think, in your mind, your Liam's hardest fight to date?
Um, can't say I've looked at every one of his fights and watched all of them, but from what I believe of like winning credentials, championship fights, things like that, being on the biggest stage, I don't think he's fought anyone um of the same level as me. No.
Definitely, mate. And obviously, as you said, you kind of mentioned a few of your credentials there. Obviously, British Commonwealth and European champion as well. Obviously, all of those belts kind of hold a lot of weight, especially on kind of the British fighting circuit. And also, mate, that fight landing in Liverpool. How big is that for you? Obviously, to be fighting back in your home city as well.
Well, I've made a career of going to people's back gardens or being the B side, taking on champions. So for a fight of this magnitude to land in my favour, even though I will be the challenger again and I probably will be the B side, but I'm in my own town, so I'm right up for it. Couldn't ask for anything better, really.
Perfect, mate. And obviously, as we've kind of said, you mentioned your team there. Obviously, Shane McGuigan. Obviously, many people consider him as one of the best trainers in the country. Kind of, this is your fourth fight go with Shane. Kind of talk to me about how influential and how important he's been to you in this stage in your career.
Well, when it came about and Shane reached out for him, like we had a chat and things like that, and he said like after he'd had a little look at me and we've done some training together, he said what he thought the possibilities were, what he could see in me, and we've just kept taking the opportunities as they've come, and it's led to this point now. He's he's don't know how to word it, like he's a very good coach in the simplest of forms. Like he breaks things down easy for you, and he won't train me the same as he'll train Ellie Scottney or Chris Billum Smith. He trains every fighter individually to their attributes, and I think after a little look at me, he could see what work well for me and what wouldn't, and it's led us to this point now.
Definitely. Is that kind of one positive of his training session? He doesn't kind of coach you all together on the same thing. He focuses on your positives and then make them better. Would you say that's one of his best attributes?
Yeah, like of a morning or like of an evening time, Shane will send a list out for every fighter to have an individual time to come in the gym, and he'll train you one on one, all of us one after another, and everyone will be getting taught individually to what's their best attributes and what he thinks they should be doing for their upcoming fights, etc. And he just works it off that, and it's a formula what he's come up with, and it works well. As you know, he's made numerous champions, and hopefully many more to come.
Definitely, mate. And obviously, major success wished upon you on March the 11th. Obviously, as you've said, you're not the only one in Shane's stable. Obviously, thriving stable. You mentioned Ellie Scottney there, kind of a Chris Billam-Smith, but you've also got fighting this weekend. Adam Azim, Hassan Azim, and then Caroline Dubois as well. Kind of what can from someone who shares kind of training time with them, kind of sees them day in day out. What do you think the fans can see from their performances on Saturday night?
These are like three young talents that can literally go on and carry the sport. And I know it'll sound cliche because I'm in the gym with them and things like that. They're saying he's going to say that, but I've trained with a lot of people over the years, and every one of these like have something about them that makes you go wow, or like just training with them on a daily basis, like they have got that X factor. I just think on the weekend, they're really going to make people just like you'll walk away from the show and one of them three will be the name that they remember. I guarantee that.
Perfect. I think I just posted something about Caroline today. Kind of, she wants to have that buzz around her, and I think a lot of people are pipping her as well as Adam to be the next kind of big fighter from Britain for sure. And so my final question, Robbie, and thank you again for giving me your time today. Obviously you've kind of been around the British boxing team for a while now. Obviously you've won numerous titles. Obviously going in for kind of major world ranking on March the 11th. But when all said and done, what does boxing mean to you?
It's a bit of a deep one. That like
Yeah.
it's my life. You know what I mean? Like I've done boxing for the longest I can remember. It was in my family, like with my dad and things like that, and then it's come through me. It's like boxing is my life. Like if anyone ever meets me and they don't like boxing, we've probably got nothing to talk about. It's that simple. Do you know what I mean? They think got nothing to talk to him about. All he wants to talk about is boxing.
No, mate, definitely love that, mate. And thank you again for giving me your time today. And I just thought I'd add before I finish one of the first fights that kind of got me into boxing. I haven't been into boxing long, but one of the main fights that got me into boxing was your fight with Lewis Ritson, mate. It was one of the fights that kind of captured my attention for the sport. And I know your result didn't go your way that night, but what a fight that was to be a part of. I can't leave the interview before without saying that.
Well, now Lewis's next fight, he's going to do me a favor because I can't stand O'Hara, so I'll be cheering for Lewis this time.
Perfect. I'm glad to hear it, mate. How do you think that fight goes Lewis's way?
Well, O'Hara's got that he's got like a stupid type of a power. Like if he hits you, he can put you to kip. Do you know what I mean? So he always carries that threat with him. But I just think if Lewis can compose himself and slowly chip away, because I think he's got the better fundamentals, I think he'll get the job done and he'll win on points. But the only way I can see O'Hara winning is if he pulls a Hail Mary out the bag.
Perfect, mate. Well, I look forward to that fight, and I'm sure you will do as well. But Robbie Davies Jr., thank you very much for giving me your time today, and best of luck on March the 11th, mate.
Appreciate it. Nice one.